I don't know if I should watch this movie for a second time because I got late and now I use this movie for my assignment, or I can just change the movie with the Lego Batman movie instead.
Like we used to do.
Thor Ragnarok is the third Thor movie directed by Taika Waititi, if I'm not mistaken. I think I got his name right. And this movie is the 15th Marvel movie ever made, or we could say the 5th Marvel movie in Marvel's Phase 3. Now in this movie, Thor Ragnarok is the third Thor movie, which tells about Thor 2 years after the event of Age of Ultron, where Thor finally returns to Asgard. And when he sees Asgard, he turns out that Asgard has been taken over by Hela, also known as the Goddess of Death. And now Thor goes on a gladiator match where he meets the Hulk and also Loki and Valkyrie as they form a team in order to stop Hela from conquering Asgard. Now to be honest, I got this early release for this movie and I was happy about it, but the cons is that I got late for this movie, so I didn't see any Doctor Strange scenes, I didn't see any Thor getting his hammer destroyed scenes, so I was very late at that time, so I got a little bit pissed off, and now I start thinking whether I should see this for a second time or not. But I'm gonna get to this movie. So first of all, what I like about this movie is that this movie was really great. Yes, it was very absolute amazing. I like the visuals of this movie, and I also like the storyline of this movie, and also I like the retro style in this movie. Like they did some retros with retro classics and also the vibes and that, and also like they give you this cool look at Thor and Loki, Thor and Hulk trying to fight each other, and also the battling scenes. I mean, there were some scenes that look great. One of the storylines they did great with this movie. I mean, there were also some great humor in this movie. When I also like the soundtrack, and when I hear the soundtrack, I was wondering who did the soundtrack. It was made by Mark Mothersbaugh, until I find out that he was also the composer for the Lego movie, which I was very happy about that. And you know, I started thinking, you know, I think he did great. He did great for this movie. There were some retro scenes, there were some action scenes, and it really fit perfect with this movie. Now let's talk about the characters. Thor is the main character in this movie. Now you see his hair got cut enough because there's a funny cameo about it, which I'm not gonna spoil you about that. I mean, it's very hilarious when I see it. I mean, when Thor got his hair cut, I was like, wait, why did they manage to cut his hair? But when I see it, I was like, okay, I think that's fine. That's fine, because I mean, Thor acts really good, and then Thor tries to go back to reflect his dead father, and then like he got these awesome lightnings, and he's also a little bit funny sometimes, like every Marvel character. Hulk is the Hulk, and the best part of Hulk is after almost 9 years, and finally we get to see Hulk talking on the big screen. I mean, you've probably seen Hulk talking in animation movies, like Hulk doesn't like this, Hulk angry, Hulk going to destroy this, Hulk is friends with Spider-Man. And this is what you get. This is finally it. After 9 years, and finally I've been waiting. I mean, after 5 years of the first Avengers movie, Hulk finally talks in this movie. I mean he did like puny god and that's it, but now with this movie, Hulk did lots of talking, which I was very happy about that. And then we get Bruce Banner. Yeah, Bruce Banner is just like, he's already like in amnesia right now, like why how am I in this planet, what's happening? And yeah, now Bruce Banner must stick with it. He must be with Thor now to work together. Valkyrie is a new character played by Tessa Thompson, and what I like about this is that Valkyrie also has something to do with one of the Night Warriors, where she's also a fighter for Asgard. And now that she's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna buy Thor, and then like she just like she just turned against the Grandmaster, which I'm gonna get to that character later on. And then she's like, okay, let's stick with Thor. Like, she's also a brave character. Like, she's a bad A, which I'm gonna say about that. Loki. Oh, he's not a villain anymore. He's not a villain anymore. People would say that Loki's a villain, like in the comics, but now they're putting it as a good guy, which that's actually also good. But sometimes there are some bad moments in this movie, like he enjoys watching Thor, and he's a little bit sarcastic at that time. But Loki's sometimes a little bit funny in this movie, and yeah, he's also like, okay, he wants to help now. The Grandmaster is actually the second villain in this movie, who's also played by Jeff Goldblum, because the Grandmaster is like, he's basically the owner of this champion league something, where they own this gladiator match, and they just enjoy, they must have their fighters watching each other, and sometimes they made lots of jokes, like sometimes he keeps joking around with Thor. Let's talk some other characters before we get to the villain. Karl Urban, bad to good. Idris Elba, he's fine. Odin, R.I.P. Now the main villain. The main villain here is Hela, also known as the Goddess of Death, who, it's surprising that he turns out to be like the sister of Thor, if I'm not mistaken, and then like she's like the executioner of Odin, and now she's like, okay, now I'm back, now I'm gonna take over. Like Cate Blanchett, or whoever her name is, she did great with this villain. Like, she was best at this movie. To be honest, I'm very thirsty as I'm trying to review this movie. I have to say this, but Thor Ragnarok is one of the best Thor movies ever made in the Marvel universe. No, to be honest, I mean, we saw the first Thor, we saw the second Thor, which I both own those movies, and now with Thor Ragnarok, for 2 hours and 10 minutes, we get lots of awesomeness. We get to see gladiator match, we get to see some cool retro styles, like the cool retro ships, and great humor in this movie. This movie did a great job. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the director also played Korg, which I also like this character. Korg is kind of like my favorite character. Like, Korg, he's like a good guy, which I also like the way he talks. But since I also watched this movie in IMAX, I say it's epically amazing and stunning in IMAX 3D. No, go for it. Go for it. Go see it in IMAX 3D. I mean, if you're gonna buy those, if you remember those, in thumbnail, I used those popcorn bucket and the and that cup, which I also put that on Instagram. That's basically something you can enjoy when you see Thor and Hulk fighting each other. That's also great. But yeah, that was also my review on Thor Ragnarok. Have you seen it? What do you think of this movie? Sorry if this review is a little bit late because I just got back from Comic-Con and I got a little bit frustrated on that day. Like right after I see Thor Ragnarok, I was busy at the time, and finally I'm here to review this movie. And also happy Halloween if I've passed this Halloween day. By the way, after I see this movie, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to see this movie for a second time. But however, on that week Thor Ragnarok's released in the US, I'll be seeing not that one. Yes, Beyond Skyline. I'll be seeing this movie and I'll be excited to do my review on it. But yeah, that was my review on Thor Ragnarok. So here's the outro.